Hi there, traders, and welcome to the strategy review. And we're going to go walk through the trades from overnight from the 5-minute trading day, how we went, and I'm going to show you a few trades, obviously the prime trades too. Some we did take, some we didn't, and I'll walk through just how I went today on the Asian market session, which is on the Nikkei and the ASX200. So that's the N225 for you that don't know. That's the Nikkei and the ASX200 CFD. So it was a good day all in all, and it's been posted into the Discord channel as well. If you have a look around in there. And like I said before, it's not rocket science. It's just knowing a few key things that you're looking for and trying to be consistent on those few key things. And that's what we're here to teach you. So let's rip into it. We'll start with the Dow. Now, what you'll see on the screen here is that was the opening. That's for the strategy. Okay, we've got the open here when it's just heading down. Now, the rules negated taking that short trade, even though it did work. It gave the easy. We got 10 points off that, but I didn't take that one. And we took the long instead because what we're really looking for is a bit of a break, to the upside or downside. And you don't want to make new lows in the last minute and then try to sell it. Okay, it just works against the theory behind the strategy. But it's okay to take the other side. Okay, which we did, and it made you 10 points. Now, just walking through what else happened, just walking through some prime setups. With the way we trade and what we're always looking for, we call it a shoulder, which is a lower high or higher low. I don't really care which one, but we're just trying to go with the flow of the market essentially. And we're trying to sell into the market when it looks weak and the flow's down, or buy into the market when the flow's up. Okay, so the first trade really could have been, it was just not long after the open on a short side, and it worked out pretty well. Then later on, we took some good trades here. Took a short, and that's on what we call an RTF, or it's a failure. Okay, the market pops up, it tries to go higher and fails. So it just means that there's more sellers around than buyers at that stage, and there's still some sellers really in control. Nice little trade through in there, and then on the shoulder again later on. Now, that was pretty much it for me, but there were some prime trades later on you could see that really turned out well. Bit of a bounce off the MAs, which I like to see. Is a good support zone that I've put through down there. And if you don't know about support and resistance, you can always just shoot us a question in the channel, and we'll explain it. We'll even do a bit of a talk on it, no problem at all. Now, that's the high low, like I said, off the MAs, love that. So what's it's doing? You've got all these sellers in here starting to feel a bit uncomfortable if the market starts to head higher. Some will close, some won't. And if they're going to close their shorts, they're going to have to buy it back to push it up. And that's what we're looking for. And that worked out quite well too. Gave I think, we were at 10, 20 points, so 50 points. So there was easily 20 or 30 points in that trade there. And later on, there was a few in here you could have traded in there. That was still good. It was just a bit messier. This was nice. Okay, so what you've got, the action, push through a support level, held a second time, and then you've got a higher low. So that's a key price action for us. And if you just start working through it, that's the kind of thing. You've got that press down, higher low holding. That's beautiful. And then that paid out quite nicely. What did that give? Probably about 80 or so. Yeah, 80 or so you could have got, maybe 70, 60 points. So as you can see, very profitable day. Okay, let's get over to the US tech. So this is going to be new for the 5-minute trading day. I'm just watching it at the moment, and so far so good. It's done pretty well. Okay, so we've got the open here again. It was a bit different to you saw the Dow on the open. It, where was it? Just here. It made a new low and then went straight through. The US tech, which is the Nasdaq, was a bit different. So the low was prior to that. So okay, they didn't negate the criteria for entry. Okay, and you broke the low, and you can see that paid out. Could have paid out somewhere around 40 points or so. So at the moment, I think we're looking at 25 to 30 points on that, maybe 20 to 25, just to keep it nice and easy, one-to-one trade. But it gave that 25 or 30 points quite easily. Okay, and then later on, we'll just walk through some of the prime areas we're looking at. I didn't trade this, but some really, really good trades that played out last night. And we're looking at really that first hour or two of action. I think they give out some of the best trades. Everyone's trying to sort themselves out. They're trying to get on the right side. People are getting excited after the open, and they're starting to jump in. So you can see the MAs are down here. Love that. We know we want to be on the short side. The market's popped up after the open. Maybe bought some buyers in and then turned them out and pushed it back out again. And we've got a nice little setup. I won't go through the setup, the reasoning behind the setup. It's just that's a setup for me. Take the trade through the bottom, risk is at the top, okay? And you're trying to go with the flow, okay? That's just a continuation. That's the area you want to trade in. Now, this is a little bit different. You could have traded through that low. It turned out okay, but it's not 100% what we're looking at. Now we're back on the right side of the MAs again. MAs are down. We should be down, selling, shoulder here, in we go, and we could have followed it down. It's a bit messier, that one, but still turned out all right. And you can see later on a couple of more lower highs, or shoulders as we call them, okay, played out beautifully. So I think there was maybe a few more. I mean, that was after market hours, but yeah, you could have traded just in here just as nicely, that zone there. Same as the Dow. Okay, had a nice little push down, started to pop up, held a higher low, and up we go. Okay, we'll get onto the DAX now, the Germany 40. I keep saying the DAX 30. It's just changed from 30 stocks to 40, so it's been around a while, and I get used to that Germany 30, or the DAX 30 now. It's 40 shares. So we've got the open here at 6 o'clock for the strategy. Now we did take that short on the bottom side, and I got nabbed for 10, lost 10 on that, which wasn't quite nice. So that was prior to the Dow winning. Didn't get that one there. It only made 4 or 5 or 6. It just took out the bottom, the lows, for the strategy we got in. It turned around and we went straight back up again. Okay. I didn't take this trade, to be fair, just to make sure I'm honest. Didn't trade this, which I was trying to. I just was talking too much. I didn't have my orders ready. So that was a 10-pointer, and that was a prime entry for the setup too, that through the high, because you know that once it goes down, it flushes the low and it starts to reverse. If you don't get it there's a good chance it's going to attack the highs. Okay, and what it's doing is getting people to sell into the market here, trapping them and squeezing them straight back out. And that turned out really, really nice. Now I didn't take, that was the trade for the highs, and I think that missed out by literally a point or two. Okay, but all in all, you take the trades correctly. If you don't get one, you could more than likely, it's a high probability that you'll get set on the other side and you'll make it back. So what we're trying to do, and that's why it's got a high probability setup. Yeah, it's around the 83%, I think, at the moment. So if you don't get one, generally you get it right on the other side. It's very rare that you get two wrong. Okay, you either get it right and you forget about the other side, or you get it right, or you get it wrong, then you get it right. It's very rare that you get two. And sometimes you just get nothing. It just doesn't play out within the first 5 or 10 minutes. You just forget about it and walk away. That's why it's called the 5-minute trading day. You don't want to be there watching the market all night if you can't. So let's get into some of the trades. You got nice little, push up here. You can see that was a bit of a grind into an area where, I expected to see some selling. And as soon as we come back down below the MAs, it started to hold. You could have shorted in here, made a few points. Even if it reversed, you could have held it. You stop above, still held it okay. If you didn't get that in, you've got a second entry, or you can add to your trade on the short side. And that turned out really well. So you had three areas before it really started to kick on, where you could either have taken scalped in and out, or you can take a position, added, where you got more confirmation, added again when you got more confirmation. Probably around here you'd be out. Okay, so all in all, that could have been, say, an average of about there and out was 24 or 5 points. Fantastic. And on the long side, a bit later on, you had a trade in here, didn't go too far. A bit later on, you probably could have been traded in here, and if you had your risk reward, managing your risk correctly, and you trade the top side, you buy through there, your risk is below, you didn't get stopped there anyway, and it still kicked on. But if you took it later on, which was a bit more prime, yeah, it did kick on. So even though you had to sit through a bit of chop, it still worked out really well. Now, there was a setup here later on, but it's kind of hard to say you want to trade that there when the market has rallied 82 points or so. It's kind of getting a bit extended by then. It's back into that zone, that area where you don't really want to be part of it. Okay, now, so trades for today. So this is just my trading, okay? That, like I said, anyone can learn that. We're here to help. We're here to teach you, and then I'm here to get you on the right track at least. So first trade was just a short off in here. The market just opened. It sort of popped up, and people started to sell it pretty heavy straight back into it. So I like that sort of thing. You got an engulfing candle, we call it, but don't worry too much about that. And then we jumped in on this candle here. Well, I did jump in, pushed it through the lows, took some off into the lows, and when we started to fail in here, I took the rest off and closed it out. So it was a handy little trade. Later on was just, your good old fashioned, what we call shoulder, like I said before. And that's what we're always looking for. You've got test, fails that many times, that the buyer's going to get nervous. And if it starts to roll over, they're going to get sheepish, and they have to sell back into the market to get out. And that's what we're looking for. Enough of them sellers and new sellers coming in. We're trying to take advantage of that momentum. Could have been a short in here. I was watching it about here and shorted in there. And yeah, it did really well. And we kicked off down and back into the lows, and I got out. Okay, that was it on the Nikkei. And the last ones, look, you can look at the chart in the Discord channel if you want. It's got all the the trades on there, explanations. This was a buy. I was probably a bit eager. It was against the MAs. I should not have taken that. Was just expecting a bit of a move up to here. So you do some dumb things sometimes. The next one was a sell. I was just holding for too long. I missed out. I think one of them I missed out on my profit target by about a point or so, or 2 points, and it turned around and reversed me. I had to take myself out. Took a small loss, and then actually that might have been a win. One in here was a loss. Got it right. Turned around. So this one turned around. So even though those three there were losers, I think one of them that was a small gain. No, that was a loss. This one was a gain, small gain. Actually, it reversed back in here. I took it off, so I managed to make something on that one. But it was frustrating that you miss out on this profit target by a point or two, and then it reverses. So you can see those gains disappear. These second two were losses, but even though we're losses, look, it was to the trading plan. So be it. Okay, we just missed out. And what happens when you see this kind of action too much, and you get what I saw was just in here. This starting to hold up at a higher level than the previous low. Okay, that to me, that's why I exited. I exited pretty quickly to got out here, and that's why it got me in long. Okay, because I know that anyone that's been selling in here is probably going to be under pressure, and I've got that little pop up there. And that was pretty much it for that trading on the ASX. So that was it. We'll be in for the start of the DAX, which is the European session, and we'll take a look at the strategy. I'll give you the levels to look at, and then we'll see how it plays out, and then we'll stick around for about 15, 20 minutes to see if we can get a trade-off after the open. Okay, and then again, we'll do the similar thing coming into the US session. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and we'll speak to you soon.